Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I'm giving my full 100-mile review on the Cloudboom Echo 3. Like always, I'll go over the basic stats on the shoe, my experience running in it, including a little mishap in a 10K road race. So the Cloudboom Echo 3 is On's latest and greatest race day shoe. And this thing is fast, it's expensive, and it doesn't last very long. So On even put on the box that you're going to get a max of 4 marathons out of this shoe. I personally found it to be even less than that, but more on that a little later. For stack height, you're looking at 37 millimeters in the rear, 27 in the forefoot for a heel to toe drop of 10 millimeters. My men's size 8.5 weighs in at 7.6 ounces or 218 grams. Overall, it fits true to size. I might have a little bit of extra length at the end. I still wouldn't recommend sizing up though. As far as width goes, it's average to narrow. So like a lot of other race shoes out there, if you have a wide foot, probably not going to be the best option for you. The upper and lockdown is just fine. My only complaint would be the laces are too thin and way too long. Now we get into the midsole, and On is using a Pebax based midsole, and even with this midsole being Pebax, it still is quite a bit on the firm side. So just as an example, the 10K road race I did in the shoe was actually 5K and then a 10K race. You did the 5K first, followed up with the 10K, and for the 5K I wore the Hoka Rocket X2. And then my first few steps doing the 10K in this shoe, it was very evident that this shoe was miles firmer than the Hoka Rocket X2. And I think for probably 2/3 of people that pick up the shoe might find it too firm to carry them through the marathon distance. However, I do think for that half marathon and under, the shoe is really going to shine. But overall, just keep in mind that this is a firmer ride, and if you're looking for something super soft and cushiony to get you through to, say, the marathon distance, again, probably not going to be the right shoe for you. And of course, being a race day option, it has a carbon fiber plate in it. You can see it starts higher at the back, dips down towards the forefoot, and then scoops up. It makes this shoe very stiff. I really like the aggressive rocker of the shoe. I feel like especially during the toe-off phase, this shoe is really propulsive. And for running really fast, say half marathon pace down to mile pace, I would put this shoe head to head with pretty much anything, but more on that in a second. And then if we move along to the outsole, there is a huge issue that I found, and it is the heel rubber on the lateral side of both shoes. So during my 10K race, I was halfway through, so at the 5K mark, and the rubber on my shoe actually started to peel away, and it was just flapping around. So every foot strike I had, that little piece of rubber would just kind of fold in on itself, and it was constantly stepping on this folded up rubber. Now I'm not sure why I didn't just pull over and peel it off. Probably just because it was a little local 10K, there wasn't really any competition. However, if this was like an A-level marathon event, obviously I'd be pretty pissed off that my shoe's rubber was peeling off. And mind you, this was way before the 100-mile mark. I think I was probably at 70 miles of use in the shoe, and my outsole was literally falling off during a race. Other than that specific area though, the rest of the outsole is holding up decently. I will say the rubber itself does have pretty good grip on wet roads, which is nice. And if you're wondering, they've totally closed in the channel, and there's not really your traditional cloud pods, so no worry of getting rocks stuck in this outsole like some of the other On race day shoes from years past. Okay, so my experience running in this shoe, obviously I did that one 10K race, and it felt really nice up until that point where the rubber started coming off. Other than that though, all of my miles had been training miles, mostly always really high quality days, because I knew the life of this shoe was going to be very short. And I gotta say, this shoe really performs incredible the faster you run. So anytime I went to the track and did like kilometer repeats, even 400s, I would often reach for the Cloudboom Echo 3. Just this past week, a few days ago, I went to the track and I did 5 by 1K, and 4 of those Ks were in the low 250 pace, and the shoe felt fantastic at those paces. I think for me, I probably would take this up to the marathon, although it might be between this or the Rocket X2 from Hoka. But I think for the half marathon distance, this would really be in my wheelhouse. This would be probably one of my number one options. This definitely isn't a shoe that feels very nice at slower paces. So all of the training runs that I did, of course, they all had warm up and cool down, and I would usually just wear this shoe for those warm up and cool downs the whole workout. And it was never a comfortable or smooth feeling ride until I really started to pick up the pace. And then that also leads us into the price of the shoe. So you're looking at 370 Canadian or 290 US. And for a shoe that you might get 100 miles out of, that's obviously very overpriced. The shoe is not miles ahead of any other race day shoes out on the market. I'd probably put the shoe closest to the Nike Vaporfly. I think this shoe is probably a little bit nicer, a little bit faster, especially at that half marathon distance and under than the Vaporfly. Just make sure you're racing in it before the outsole starts to fall off. So my verdict on this would be great shoe, especially if you like a firmer ride, especially kind of that half marathon distance and under. However, absolutely overpriced, especially considering the durability of the shoe is very, very low. All right, I think that's going to be it. Let me know if there's anything I left out of this review. Ask your questions down below in the comments and I'll get back to you. Like always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.